Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 281, The Fate of the Furious Lap 12. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too, and this episode's brought to you by Diesel Kids. Be the alternative. Diesel was born to be the alternative to luxury, the alternative to the traditional 5-pocket jean. Shout out to Diesel Kids.
So this is like the kids brand, whatever, of the Diesel clothing line, I would imagine.
Yeah. They now the time has come for them to apply their anti-establishment spirit and passion.
As long as they don't let their foot off the tiger's neck, the kid tiger neck. Tony the Tiger.
Okay.
With us tonight, I don't know, man. I don't have the ad copy in front of me. I'm just trying to improvise here.
It's okay.
You're the one who gets you handle all this stuff.
I know, that's why I pieced it together nicely and gave you a little segue, but it's okay.
With us tonight, we have with us, once again, for the 8th time, I think, this lap or something. I don't know. She's been here a bunch, maybe more. We have Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Hello, Montez.
Hello.
Welcome to the era of Fast X.
Are you ready?
I'm ready for the butts.
You ready for the butts?
Oh yeah, there were some butts in the trailer. There was.
Yeah, Montez wrote in her email and mentioned the butts.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of Fast X talk tonight before we get into the Fate of the Furious talk. Montez, pop quiz, who gets the fuck in Fate of the Furious? Did you write it down? Do you know? Do you remember?
Helen Mirren.
She does. She's fucking thirsty. So good
Yep.
job. Welcome, and also welcome to our patrons who support us at the $5 a month level or above. This is us cordially inviting you into the podcast. You, Cassie Wilson. You, Ben Milliman. You, Nick Burris. You, Alex Ellen. You, Justin Kleinman. You, Brian Rodriguez of that aforementioned, not yet mentioned on this episode, High School Slumber Party. Probably won't get mentioned again. You, Haley Gerbies. You, Wes Hampton. You, Jerry Robinson. You, Dan the Duke Hayden. You, Renato Di Donato. You, Michael McGann. You, Lane Middleton. This is so much extra work.
It
you,
is.
Lindsay Lewandowski. You, Nate Milton of the not yet mentioned, won't get mentioned again this episode for no real reason other than we're just not talking about it, the Kings of Sport. You, Jason Rainey. You, Tom Price. You, Mike Gallier. And you, the aforementioned, for real this time, Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all for supporting us the $5 a month level or above at toofast2forever.com.
That was full Oprah. You went full Oprah.
You know, when we're going to have a long-ass episode, why not just extend it unnecessarily early before we get into anything else?
Yes, I agreed.
There was something else. Oh, if you want to email family@cageclub.me. We got emails today we're going to read about Fast X. We don't normally read emails on episodes that aren't Fastlane, but we got so much Fast X news to talk about. Montez, did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you see the teaser trailer in the Super Bowl for Fast X?
You know I wasn't watching the Super Bowl.
I don't know. Like you
might have played it during the Puppy Bowl or something, you know?
I was reading, so I wasn't really paying attention. And then after that Farmer's Dog commercial that had me sitting there literally crying my eyes out, I thought, fuck this. I'm not watching any of this shit anymore.
Well, the Fast X trailer was like in the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it was very early.
That was small human bedtime, so I missed it.
I was very glad for my sake that got out of the way, and the one ad I knew was coming, the Ben Affleck at Dunkin' Donuts ad, were back to back, and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have to really pay attention to commercials for the rest of the night. I have these out of my system. Going to spend a lot of time answering things and tweeting things and whatever.
I was thankful for that too because, I was heavily boozing, so to get the Fast commercial, like the Fast trailer at the beginning, I was like, cool, I could pay attention and not forget this immediately. Yeah. So it worked out well.
So before we get into that specifically, we got some news about Fast X. So Montez, feel free to chime in on any of this, all of this, none of this, whatever you want. Knowing you, probably not a lot, but who knows? You might have thoughts. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Fast X director Louis Leterrier got asked to rewrite the entire third act on the flight to set. Quote, I was literally on no sleep. So Montez, if you'll remember, Justin Lin was supposed to direct this one.
Yeah.
And like a week into shooting, he's like, I can't do it. And he quit.
There was an awkward Instagram video where Vin is like, "We're on set, Justin. How's it going today?" And Justin's like, and then like a day later, he quit.
And so they bring in Louis Leterrier very quickly, and
it didn't feel like it was that quick. I think it took them like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
I mean, considering what they had to hire, it was pretty
true.
quick. But yes, in the grand scheme of things, there was a lot of time in between. And apparently, he had to rewrite the third act, which is traditionally where all the big stunts, like the set pieces and stunts, are. And yeah, so that's wild. So, quote, I read the script 4 times on the plane. I said I had some ideas, and they said, great, because the whole third act is changing. Can you rewrite it tonight? I was literally on no sleep. I'd been on no sleep for days. Obviously, this was not going to be set in stone, but I was like, okay, yeah, I got some ideas, and started writing. And since the third act was changing, I needed to change the first act. So when you rewrite the third act and the first act, the second act has to go. So basically, I had to on the fly rebuild the airplane. So he's not only just saying that he had to rewrite the third act, he rewrote the entire movie.
Yeah. Last minute. On the plane ride over to go start shooting it as it had been started to shoot already. And everybody's just like sitting around. Yeah.
So that's not great. I would say that's not usually a good thing.
No, but like based on this trailer and like the vibe that we're getting, it doesn't look like it was necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. People are into it. I mean, obviously we're into it, but, you know, people are into it. Let's see. What else? There is, I'm trying to see if there's other news before we get into the people writing in about stuff. Louis Leterrier also explained how Brian is going to be in this.
Yes, he did, which is very important, actually. And something that we kind of, like, I think we kind of talked about when we did the trailer, like when we watched the trailer. It was kind of like what we landed on, but I'm glad that we have confirmation of this.
Quote, well, Brian is very much alive in the world of Fast and Furious, and they've teased him a lot in the previous movies. In 9, we see the car coming. Spoilers, Montez.
Yes.
It's something that is planned. The movie jumps back and forth between the past and the present. You'll see Brian in the past. You won't see him in the present. It's something that everybody has to be on board with. The Walker family is still very much a part of the franchise. You'll see how in the movie. It has to be the right amount, the right tone. I think what James Wan did at the end of 7 was perfect. The tone was perfect. Brian has to re-enter the franchise as perfectly as he left it.
I like this so much better. I mean, like, we don't know for sure, but it seems like this is like there's just a Brian in flashbacks. And if that's the case, that means we didn't resurrect him.
But they also still kind of resurrected him, because if they're filming new scenes in the past, you know, it's not like they're actually going back in time and Paul Walker is alive.
Yeah, but we knew that we were going to get CGI Cody. He was on set and stuff like that. So I'll take this more than them trying to make Brian a main character again.
It depends on how they use it. But then Jason Rainey tweeted at us and said, just had the thought, if this jumps between the past and the present, maybe Gal returns in a flashback. Maybe some new scenes connecting 5 and this movie, which, again, anybody who's
Did we
not
see
alive,
Gal on set? Didn't we see Gal hanging out with them? Or, like, was she in Italy at the same time? I don't remember. Like, it's a blur because there's so many people. Like,
there was just rumors. I don't think there's any pictures. I think it was just like, yeah, she's returning. It's like, okay, how? What? So,
yeah, okay.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
Some other thoughts about these movies. Anna Bolina on Twitter said, a friend of mine pointed out this looks like Furious 7 Redux. A relative of a previous big bad seeks revenge. I wonder if plot points that were altered due to the passing of Paul Walker will be utilized here, which I think is a very interesting take, because they, you know, Montez, we talked about a lot in 7, how they had to rewrite it. We're going to talk about it, I'm sure, again tonight, how 8 likely changed when he wasn't around.
Yep.
So maybe they use some of those things that they wanted to use in 7 here. Who knows?
That'd be kind of cool if that's how it played out. Vin has a giant storyboard in his head, at least, of how this goes. So, like, I can't imagine he just, like, shelved all the Brian storylines. So, yeah, I can see him being like, okay, like, now we kind of, like, we can kind of come back to this, especially if they're, like, leaning into a revisionist version of 5.
Because with Deckard coming back to avenge, you know, the family and what, like, there's all these things that they probably had to rewrite. And so if they have these ideas of how things could interact, go for it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
we heard from Cara Gale O'Regan, past full lap completer of this
did.
podcast, and she said, okay, I finally watched a trailer, listened to your ep, and I can't remember if you talked about Vin Diesel's Uncanny Valley CG skin texture. Did they have to de-age him? To add to that, Alex Ellenin sent me on Instagram an image, like a thread from Reddit, the thread was Keanu Reeves says deep fakes are scary, confirms his film contracts ban digital edits to his acting. And it's a thing from Variety. And so they talk about all this different stuff, whatever. And then someone replies and says, and again, this is Reddit, so take this with a grain of salt. But someone says, I also wonder how many actors do want digital edits. Seeing the Fast X trailer with Vin's suspiciously airbrushed face makes me think how egregious some, quote, touch-ups really are. And then someone responds to that and says, in Fast 9, they were definitely touching up his physique at times. In reality, he was getting a bit paunchy, which who knows if that's true, but that might just be kind of cattiness, whatever.
Yeah.
And then someone responds to that and says, y'all aren't going deep enough. I was background for a scene in Fast 9. Filming the flashback race while the main cast was in Europe, but they needed Vin in the scene we were doing. You know what they did? They got some buff, bald guy, put black dots on his face, and had him do the scene. I asked one of the PAs what was happening. They said they were going to add Vin Diesel's face to this dude. Crazy shit. I mean, that just might be an issue of availability. Like, if you need to do two scenes and you need Vin in one, you can't be in two places at once. So, like, I don't think that's crazy, but, like, I think it's important to keep in mind that what we're seeing might not actually be what's being filmed.
I like Cara being able to like spot it. Like I don't like. It seemed weird in my brain, but like I couldn't pick that out for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like once she said it, I was like, oh yeah, his skin did seem kind of weird. But like I would have never thought that first and foremost. And then for somebody on Reddit to say the same thing means that they're on to like where there's smoke, there's fire type situation, right?
Right. Yep. I noted to you today that Wiki lists Louis Leterrier as the director for 11. I don't think that's been officially confirmed yet, but I think it's interesting that he is listed there.
Well, it's definitely not Justin Lin anymore. I don't think.
Definitely not Justin Lin. I don't know if we ever talked about this, but it was Fast X was written by Dan Mazeau, Mazeau. Again, I don't know if he wrote the original version. I don't know if he came out with Louis Leterrier, whatever. But he's only written so far the screenplay, the story for Wrath of the Titans, which I don't think very many people liked, but that was about a decade ago with Sam Worthington.
Well, I don't think he really wrote the screenplay if Louis Leterrier rewrote the whole fucking thing on the plane.
It depends if he co-wrote with him, but yeah, maybe not. But this guy also has he's writing Luna Park, which is a thing that was on Tom Cruise's IMDb for a while. That's not there anymore. And he's also writing a Van Helsing reboot. So like this guy is maybe about to blow up. He's also got something called Cowboy Ninja Viking he's writing,
that
and a movie called Damsel that he's writing. So I don't know what this guy who has one credit suddenly has 5 that he's writing right now. So I don't know where he came from, but
that's interesting. Some of those sound kind of wacky and goofy. I don't know how he was the one who got like picked up for all this stuff, but good for him. Get the bag, bud.
Yeah, seriously. Anything, Joe or Montez? Well, yeah, I guess Montez, you didn't see it. Montez, if you want to watch it while we chat a little bit, here is the link to the Super Bowl ad. If you want to watch that, Joe, anything you saw, anything you remember from the Super Bowl ad that was not in the main 4-minute trailer?
Yeah, the main thing was him driving fucking down Hoover Dam.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Insane. When I saw that, I was like, oh, so that like whole bridge chase helicopter scene gets wackier? Yeah, it does. I can't wait to see where it goes from there because, I mean, like, they spoil a lot of shit, but like, I think they're going to keep like the big for the movie, right?
I would hope so, but I don't know. There's also the shot of him holding Brie Larson, who's like limp like a rag doll in his arms.
Yes. That was a good screenshot. I didn't catch that until you posted the screenshot of it. I really like that. And that's just going to be like the whole situation that we were saying what Jason picked out with the blue blazer. The blue blazer now, This is like the chain, right? We're just going to have to follow this around in the trailers until we watch the movie and figure out where she is, but I think that, yeah, it's probably going to be like blue blazer pointing a gun at him. There's an explosion in that scene. He carries her out of the fire, and then they're buds now.
I also think, based on the tree, which seems insane, but also we spend so much time analyzing this first movie.
I know, you're so good.
the scene where they're barging in and they're pursuing baby Brian and Mia's on the floor screaming. I think that's 1327 based on the tree that's outside. And we see upstairs, which we've never really been upstairs. We've seen, Jesse goes and detail the car upstairs.
Letty takes Dom upstairs to give him a massage.
And this is also the rebuilt 1327. You know what I mean? So these are new memories.
Remodeled.
But yeah. New model, original parts. But I don't know. It's exciting that I was able to figure out, maybe this is it makes sense that it's 1327, and if they're barging in on the Toretto family, like, where else would they be? But yeah, that might be 1327, which seems crazy, intense.
I'm glad that we get more internal shots, and you're right. I think it's really nicely convenient for them that, like, they could just use whatever fucking house they want, because if they blew up the house, it doesn't matter what the and it's been 20 years now, right?
Since it blew up. So it blew up in
you're right. Yeah.
6, right? No, at the beginning of 7. And so if 7 was time shifted forward, no, that's after the time shift. This might have been time shifted. It's been about 8 to 10 years, maybe 10, 12 years, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe even Mia redecorated and stuff before that. We didn't see in 1327 since the first one. So and they have millions of dollars now. Who knows?
Yeah. Montez, any thoughts on that trailer?
I still have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Fair enough. You'll maybe know soon. We got one movie discussion tonight, and then 2 more with you, and then you'll be back sometime later this year for Fast X. We've got 3 emails about the trailer, and then I also have some notes that I culled from IMDb that we'll talk about in a little bit.
Cool.
But first off, Wes Hampton, subject line, Fast X trailer update. What up, fam?
What up, Wes? How's it going, bud?
I don't have anything amazing that I gleaned from another 10 watches of the trailer, but here are a couple of notes.
I have a question. How many times do you think our group has collectively watched the trailer?
Well, so Anna responded to us saying that the trailer had been seen 295 million times, which is crazy, but it's just I looked at the article, just an insider source says, I'm just so someone just added up the YouTube view counts? That's the insider source?
Pretty much.
How many times have we collectively, I would say...
A couple hundred, right?
A couple hundred, yeah.
Between all of us, I think we attribute to about that. Hey, you know what? Maybe a little letterbox, 0.1%.
And I'm saying this in terms of the people that we actually know about, right? Who
That's what I
write
mean.
in. Because I know there's a bunch of listeners who we don't know who they are because they don't write in. Email us, family@cageclub.me, or join the Patreon, toofast2forever.com. I'll literally mail you handwritten notes once. Probably a sizable, significant chunk.
I think so. That makes me proud.
I'm pretty sure in the Brazil race, Wes writes, you're right about the woman at the end being Daniela Melchior.
Thank you.
Front. Oh, one of the notes that I have from IMDb is that she is credited as Brazilian street racer. So I would assume, that might not be her name, but she's listed at least on IMDb right now as Brazilian street racer. From the front, I thought it was Mia, but from the side, I thought it was Giselle. So I went frame by frame, and it looks like Daniela. The person at the other end looks like Diogo, who is back in this movie. He's from Fast 5, Luis da Silva Jr., who they won the blue Porsche off of in Fast 5.
That's insane.
A few seconds earlier in the trailer, you can see him sitting next to Dom when they do the reversal of the This Is Brazil scene from F5. So it looks like it'll be a 2v2 race. Well, that's interesting to think that he would be on Dom's team.
He seemed like he had a lot of respect for Dom in 5. And he wasn't out to get him. He's I would love to have Dominic Toretto's car in my garage. And then he just loses. So
I also saw, Wes writes, some pretty specific references to big action set pieces from previous movies, not just 5. There's a shootout happening on what looks like the bridge from the end of 5, which makes sense. But the Charger plane drop helicopter slam looks like a bridge similar to the one in 6. And there's a shot of Jacob coming out of a tunnel in the side of a mountain like the ones in 4. Ooh. It makes me wonder if they're going to try to connect some of these other moments in other movies as well, not just 5. Braga and Owen were both linked to Cypher, so who knows?
I literally do not think that they have time. That's my only concern about
2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're adding 3 new people.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for them to interweave this, but I just don't think that they have time.
Wait, so who are the 3? There's Momoa, there's Brie, and then who's the other one you're saying? Daniela Melchior or something different?
Yes. Daniela Melchior.
I think she's small. There's also, I didn't even see him in the trailer, but Alan Ritchson, who plays Jack Reacher in the Jack Reacher TV series, he's in the movie too. I don't remember seeing him. He plays a character named Ames. I also don't think, and these are all people that are credited on IMDb, I don't think we saw Michael Rooker. I don't think we saw Cardi B.
Oh no, we
And
didn't. We didn't.
And we also, I don't know that we saw Scott Eastwood, Little Nobody, and he's also on IMDb too. So I don't know where these people are, but they're all credited on IMDb.
I don't know, man. I really don't.
My other IMDb note is that Rita Moreno is credited as Abuela Toretto, so Grandma Toretto, but that doesn't necessarily mean Dom's grandmother. That could just mean Baby Brian's grandmother, right? It could be Dom's mom.
I think that makes more sense. I don't think that it's but they reference her as like Grandma Toretto like when this started. But I think that Dom likes to imagine himself much younger than that would be, and like she's clearly older to the point where I don't think that he imagines that his mom would be that old. So I think that he's saying that this is actually his grandma.
Maybe. Very possible. Who knows?
Like in the franchise, like they never really age, right? So like
True. Yeah.
having like an 80 like assuming like 80-year-old lady be your mom and she was 40 and you're 40, because I imagine he probably assumes his character's now like approaching 40.
Yeah, Montez, you think she's grandma or mom to Dom?
I think she's grandma.
Okay, so she's great grandma to Baby Brian.
Yeah.
But they still call her Abuela. I also will say at the end of Fate, that baby is so white.
God, I was thinking this the whole time and I wanted to bring that up. That's like one of my main notes. I was like, this is a white baby, right? Like,
Yeah.
Rachel's like, it's blonde. Like, this is like a blonde child.
I will give Rachel credit. This is also mostly a knock on us that she's like, I can't believe they recast the daughter, Hobbs' daughter, in Hobbs and Shaw. We're like, did they? And then we're like, oh yeah, that's a very clearly different girl. We just like didn't pay attention to her. And then here it's just like, oh no, like that's a wildly different kid. So
Yes, yeah. It's definitely a different child.
Wes says that's it for now. I'm still so hyped for this and the fact that we don't have to wait another year and a half, which is very, very true.
Good spot about the dude in the Porsche, bud. I really like that. That's a really good eye. Communitively, like I think we've all like hit some nice fine points of what's happening in the trailer, and I like it.
Yeah. I'm skipping an email. I'll get to that next. That's the last email. But we have one from Alex Ellenin, subject line, Joey told me I had to send an email. Because Alex is DMing me on Instagram with all these thoughts. I'm like, you going to email in? He's like, yeah, I might. And then like yesterday, I'm like, are you going to send an email? He's like, are you giving me homework? I'm like, well, it's just optional. It's optional extra credit. So here,
Okay.
Alex, gold star to you.
Shout out to High School Summer Party. There it is, announced in the episode. Go.
Alex says, my Instagram conversation with Joey is basically me shit-talking the episode as I listen to it and in real time, and him going, okay, put it in an email, though. There's no way Tess has a heel turn in Fast X. She's a good guy from the jump. That's his thought.
Okay.
Because we were, as I was editing this, and I know that you listened back, early on you're like, yeah, man, definitely a good guy. And then like 20 minutes later, you're like, yeah, man, definitely heel turn. And Alex is like, what the fuck is he talking about? I'm like, I don't know, man. That's why people love Joe, though. Because like he's steadfast to his opinions that vacillate wildly, even within a single episode.
No, because like when I first saw it, like I didn't catch like all the stuff, and then Jason Rady points out that she's like behind Momoa, possibly pointing a gun at Dom, but she might come to like Dom's rescue from behind too. Might be.
Yeah.
But I can see them trying to heel turn her, and if she does, I don't think we have the time. Okay, maybe not. I'm back on the she's a good guy from the beginning.
Okay, back in that corner. Okay.
Yeah.
This next one, not about the trailer, but about me saying to Alex, which I tweeted, I'm at the Magic Mike screening, and it's just me and 4 women in their 50s. He said, I'm officially making the pitch for a podcast where Joey has to take the nice older ladies he sees movies with at 10 a.m. on Saturdays to lunch and talk to them about their thoughts.
I bet that they had like a little lunch date after that. If
There were like 2 groups of 2, so I think they all like went somewhere else afterwards, and a cup of tea and a chat maybe or something. Who knows?
You should have been like, hey, can we talk about that movie and how you feel about the Fast and the Furious franchise?
And they're like, what? Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there were 2 versions of Fast X shown to test audiences in December, and Giselle was in one of them.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Maybe in a flashback, maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Joe, at some point, said he was recently heard they're, quote, trying to remake White Men Can't Jump. That kind of undersells it. The movie comes out the same day as Fast X.
Oh, okay. There you go. I was close.
And then the final 2 thoughts together, not about the trailer, but Patrick Mahomes named his kids Sterling and Bronze, and that's dumb as hell. Here's my kids, fake 2nd place and 3rd place. And then he says, it just dawned on me that he's Patrick Mahomes the 2nd, so I checked, and Bronze is actually Patrick Mahomes the 3rd, and I can't tell if that's better or worse.
Oh, it's just his nickname is Bronze
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
he's the
Mm-hmm.
third.
Mm-hmm.
The Sterling Bronze thing was really fucking stupid. Like when I heard that, I was really upset. I said it. This was one of these. I was reading a tweet in bed and I go, Sterling and Bronze, and Rachel's like, how fucking stupid is that? Like she had just seen it too, like separately. She's just like, so dumb.
See, this is the thing that like everybody's just like, and this is we're getting off topic here. Again, we're keeping
Good,
to Fast
yeah.
and Furious, but like people are just like, oh, I don't like Patrick Mahomes because of his brother, and I'm just like, look, or sister or whatever, his
His
family. And I'm
brother,
just
his
like,
brother and his wife. I hate the
I'm like,
brother and the
look,
wife.
if you don't pay attention to sports other than what's on the field, I don't know any of this stuff. I'm able to just appreciate him on the field.
Oh, he's a great
And
player. I really like him. He seems like a good guy when he does interviews
but
and
when
stuff too.
when
Like
I
he's
hear about the kids' names or his family, it's just like, oh, come on, guys.
that's what sours me on it for sure.
Yeah. All right, Montez, the one I saved for now. Subject line: concerned listener
Oh,
from
God.
Mike Gallier,
Oh,
addressed to
shit.
J, J, and J in parentheses
Oh, triple
M.
J.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
I'm gonna try to do a very somber reading. I don't remember. I think I read this, but I don't remember what it says.
Okay.
I just recently saw the new Fast X trailer, and I am hyped, but I do have to ask. With the retcons of the past movies when it comes to deaths and the possible upcoming retcon rumored,
Oh.
do the stakes feel less impactful now? I just don't feel as worried for the team anymore, as I did a few movies ago. Love the podcast. Keep up the great work. Mike.
I think we've established that they're invincible. I really want them to kill somebody at the end of this movie though, so that we can really get this cooking. You know what I mean? To bring back stakes. I think it would really freak everyone out if they kill off like 2 or 3 characters. I don't think that they will or can, but I think that if they just like wiped out half the family at the end of this movie, you'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like the
I
next one's gonna be wild.
I realized today that like I think they named themselves the Fast Saga well after the Infinity Stone saga was named. So I think they're just like, we're trying to be Avengers. How funny would it be if Momoa snaps and half of our people just like fade to ash, and it's just like, oh my god. And it goes back to just like, and like Brian shows up and it's like Dom, Brian, Letty, and Mia, and they have to take down Jacob, or they have to take down Momoa in the final movie because everybody else got snapped away. It's just like they're just doing Avengers now.
Yeah, yeah, I would really like something like that. That would be pretty comical.
That would be amazing in the moment, and then every time we had to watch it afterward, be like, what the fuck? But like in the moment, be like, did they really just snap half the family away?
Yeah, that would be really good. I would
That'd be
like
pretty-
that.
That'd be pretty funny.
They could just quantum them too. They can just like bury them in the quantum realm, and because like Ant-Man comes out soon, right?
Ant-Man comes out this weekend as we're recording. I'm seeing it on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., hopefully with some older ladies.
Me
Yeah,
too.
You should take them out to lunch afterward. I mean, we should go out for
I
lunch
can
with
almost
them.
guarantee you that there's going to be no pairs of 50-year-old women couples seeing this movie this weekend. I don't think that two women are going to go, well, I mean, I'm gendering this, but I also just don't think that's the
Older
demo
ladies,
for this.
yeah,
Yeah.
older ladies is not the demo for Marvel movies. Like 30 deep into Marvel movies.
Yeah, they might be there, but they're going to be there with other people. They're not going to be there like with each other. Like it's not like a book club outing where they're going to go see Quantum Mania, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
all right, Montez, it's that time of the night. Hit us with that sweet, sweet Montez minute.
Oh, fuck. Listen, I told myself earlier today, I said, I'm not going to
Self.
write down. I'm not going to write anything down. We're just going to wing it.
Montez.
We're gonna-
Montez. You know that's a bad idea.
We're going to see what happens. Now, I would like to thank
She just didn't
past-
have enough paper in the house to write it down. We're 8 movies deep. She didn't have a ream.
All right,
Okay,
now
go ahead.
Actually, I do. I have Reem in the other room. I should have used it. Past me did go ahead and write down the order so that I wouldn't have to ask you guys what the order was this time.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
cool,
so
cool.
like the almost the most straightforward thing possible. You finally got that grasped. Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Montez,
Here we go.
hit it.
So the first one we meet Brian, and
Yeah.
he is trying to infiltrate Dom's family because he's trying to prove himself as a cop. But then he realizes that he wants to be buddies with Dom and he wants to be with Mia, and then he lets him go at the end and basically just go watch Point Break.
Okay, you're taking this seriously tonight. I like this. Okay, that's
Yeah.
number one. Number two.
Okay, number 2 is you kind of see Brian trying to make his own little family since he saw what Dom had, and then he goes and he gets Roman, and they team up and they try to take down
Carter
worst
Brown.
drug lord ever, Carter
Don't help her.
Barone.
Please don't help her.
Okay.
And they do. I don't know. I still don't like the second one.
Okay,
And then
next.
whatever. So the fourth one,
Very nice.
Brian is now somehow in the FBI. I really still don't understand how that happened. Letty is dead, right?
Okay.
She's dead. She's dead. They're trying to
mhm.
figure it out.
Mhm.
That's the fourth one. Okay, 5. So 5 is when we meet Reyes
Mhm.
Yes.
and
Very important for the trailer, yeah.
Hobbs.
Mhm.
And then this is, of course, when we realize that the franchise is going off the rails and we're going to reorder everything because this is technically not the order that these films are supposed to be in.
Okay.
Letty still doesn't have her memory back. She's not in it, right?
Okay. What movie are you talking about now? I don't know what number you're on.
No, that was 5.
Okay, Letty's not in 5, but keep going.
Yes, that's what I said. I said I don't
That's
think
not
she's
what you
in this.
said. That's not what you said.
Okay.
But keep going.
She's still not part of it. So technically, she's still dead.
Okay.
No memory. All right. So 6 is
Wait, so you would describe people who are dead as having no memory?
I mean,
You would say one of the defining characteristics of being dead is you have no memory.
well, no,
I would say the
there was
inverse.
a comma in my brain.
Okay.
You get me off topic here. The 6th one
Uh-huh.
is the Italian Job, right?
Nope.
5 is the Italian
God damn it!
6 is good.
I knew I was gonna lose. I knew I was gonna lose it after 5.
Well, you also said in the middle of 5 that they reordered the timeline, which is not true, but keep going.
That's after yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I just want to make sure that everyone's still aware that I have no idea what's going on.
Montez, this honestly, for the first first two movies, maybe just the first movie.
That was
this
great.
This is the first time I thought you actually had seen these movies before.
Okay.
Okay, so what's 6 about?
6 is about they kind of do a team up with Hobbs. We see Letty is still alive. She's a member of the other Shaw's team,
Yep.
which
Mhm.
technically that's only one Shaw because you haven't met the other Shaw yet.
Mm-hmm. Although he does mention him, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Okay, and then and then 3,
Nice.
Lord
Very
of
nice.
Tokyo.
Very nice.
where we have a 40-year-old high school student trying to learn how to drift. We got a lot of really cool montages where he learns how to drift from Han, who is dead
Okay.
in 7.
So a ghost teaches a
No.
40-year-old high
He
schooler how to drift.
No. He dies in 7, the beginning of 7.
Kind of. Sure.
Yeah. Well, there's a flashback?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he technically dies in he dies in 3 different movies, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah. I mean, in my defense, I did watch 7 like 15 times and I still couldn't tell you what it's about.
True. Yep.
This is where we'll meet the other Shaw, and he goes to avenge his brother, his little brother. Brian rides off into the sunset. There's him and Mia have their little dude.
Yeah.
They have their family. He leaves. He leaves the group to go, live a normal life and become a farmer.
Sure. Okay.
The end.
Okay. Pretty.
Oh,
Pretty
wait.
off the rails. Yeah.
Oh, and then the end.
You said that already. Okay. Cool. Got it. All right, Montez. Hit the showers. Take a break. Let's. Oh boy. Let's dive into.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. It's only going to get more. So just.
I don't
going.
do well with tests. Okay.
Yeah, it took you 5.5 minutes Earth time to describe the 7 movies so far, and I don't know that past the first one, any of them are even really close to accurate. But
I'm
still,
gonna try.
Good job.
I'm gonna try it next time. Maybe.
All right, Joe, let's give Montez's brain a brief break. What is your most Dom moment in The Fate of the Furious?
Oh, fuck. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about the trailer stuff. Somebody else go first, please. Sorry, Joey. Could give me yours first. Because like, I totally forgot about the most Dom moment, and I need to like think and breathe for a second.
I think it's funny that each of these episodes proves to me that Montez has never seen any of these movies, and Joe, you have never recorded any of these episodes.
No, definitely not. Okay. Like, do you want me just to pick one now?
Yeah.
Because I got one.
Go for it.
Going against the family to get baby Brian back is probably the most Dom moment, because the only thing that's better than family is more family, and he knows the family would accept him on the back end. So I think that's the most. It's not like a specific moment, it's just an ideal that runs through the movie. I think that like him actually partnering with Cypher to do it, although we don't like it sometimes, it makes sense that he still would absolutely do this as a character.
Okay. I have a thought about that, but I will save it for a second. Montez, what is your pick for the most Dom moments?
I think mine is after they realize that Dom's gone rogue, and Letty mentions to them to cut him a break because the only reason that they're alive is because of him. And I'm pretty sure she's talking to Ramsey. But
So the most Dom moment is Letty sticking up for Dom.
yes.
Okay. I have two ones that I think are both pretty Dom. Sticking up for his cousin in the opening scene, that whole like racing for his cousin to whatever. I also think when Dom returns in earnest at the end, after he has the whole like he just took the foot off the tiger's neck speech and comes back to save and help the family and, you know, take on Cypher. I think that's a very Dom moment. But Joe, I think what you said, I think by The Fate of the Furious being the least Dom movie, I think it becomes the most Dom movie.
Really? You agree?
I think the whole thing, yeah. I think by being so unlike Dom, because he is so Dom, makes the whole thing kind of the most Dom moment.
Oh, like just the counterculture of it all.
Doing whatever it takes to save and protect your family.
Yeah.
Even family you didn't know existed before a day ago.
I think so. Like because he knows Elena. Like it's not like Cypher's like I got your baby, and he's like, well, prove it. It's like she has Elena with the baby, and Elena's like, this is your baby, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And I also think that he knows that like I said on the back, like when he comes around and comes back to them, and he's like, look, I was rescuing a son I didn't know I had. Everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, we get it. You know, like nobody's gonna fault him for that. Like even if he had to like fight, because he's not gonna like kill any of them, right?
Right. Yes.
Like he's not like actually gonna hurt Roman, Letty, anybody involved. He's not going to, because it's just not in his persona.
But as a viewer, Montez, did you think he might?
Yes.
Really? You were afraid of Dom?
Well, I don't think that he would have killed them. I think that he would have wounded them to the point where they could no longer pursue him.
Okay.
He would have at least injured. Okay.
Now, Montez, you tweeted something radical, scandalous, controversial about the viewing of this movie. Montez, before we get into your overall thoughts of the movie, what did you tweet? What's the big reveal? What's the big revelation about this movie?
You know, someone once told me if you live long enough, you live to see yourself become the villain.
Uh-oh.
And Roman is now my favorite character.
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
Can I tell you that? Okay.
And I actually loved this movie.
That's awesome. That is so much fun.
Insane.
This is and this is the first time I've ever seen it. So like,
so the only one that's left that you have not seen is 9, right? Because you've seen Hobbs and Shaw, but you have not seen 9. So 8 and 9 were the ones that we were waiting for. So this is the first brand new one to you.
Yes, and I've only seen parts of Hobbs and Shaw, so technically I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're approaching new ground here.
But you love this movie.
I did.
Wow.
Well, I want to know what you loved about. I just want to throw my tidbit in this time. As I was watching it this time, I realized that a lot of the shit that The Rock says in this movie, I find irritating. Like,
okay.
In the sense, like he has like these disses, and I couldn't help but think of you. It felt like The Rock is taking the Hobbs character too far. Like he says something about like his I'm making something up, but it's along these lines. He's like, I'm gonna slap the wiener garage off your face or something like that. And I'm like, really, bud? Like, I get that you could like make fun of him, but like that was a weird one. And then he
Oh.
calls him.
Yeah,
Some-
and one of the things he says is, "I'm gonna punch your teeth down in your throat, and you're gonna have to stick a toothbrush up your butt to brush your teeth."
Yeah, I was like, okay, like that one. That one wasn't even like the worst of the. It was like the Wiener Garage one.
Yeah, Montez, did you watch the 2-hour 15-minute or the 2-hour 30-minute version?
2:15.
Okay, because I don't think the Dick Garage. I think it's Dick Garage. I don't think that's in the shorter one.
Okay, fair.
But it's another thing that he says to. It's in the back and forth with him and Deckard.
Yes.
And yeah, so it's the same thing. So Montez, I don't know if you saw. There's stuff in the extended cut that like, I think it's more Hobbsy, to Joe's point, than in the more Hobbsy and less Hobbsy at the same time.
Got it. But no, I'm with you. Even in the shorter version, it feels a little forced.
It was just like it seemed like they were like, hey, just ad lib something that Hobbs would say, and he's like, okay, Dick Garage, and you're like,
I think, like we talked about before, I think what they're doing here is they're like, can these characters be spun off? Can we figure
Yes,
out if their
100%.
chemistry together works?
Yes.
If it's funny, if it's believable, if it's action, if people like it?
that's fair.
Clearly it worked. Dumb brain I am. I'm like, man, they're really good together. They should do they did a spin-off and nobody really liked it and there's not going to be a second one. Not that people didn't like it, but you know what I mean? But like it fizzled, right? Maybe
Yeah.
because of COVID, who knows? But like I do think as sort of un-Hobbsy as part of this is, I like the two of them together. I think
I like
think
the
they
two
work
of them together.
together.
That's fine. I definitely get it. I like the chemistry between them. I hope that we get the same thing with Han and Shaw in the next one. I'm fine with that. That's awesome. But it was just like just this watch. I was like, a couple of these things. Because he says something else to Roman when they're like after the submarine that was weird too. Like he doesn't call him a spaz, but he calls him like something else stupid, and I was like, what are you doing, man? I don't know.
I will say there are a lot of lines, a lot of nicknames and stuff in here that like I either hadn't remembered or like everybody's giving everybody's nicknames in this, like little nobody is rules, little nobody is training wheels, little nobody is little nobody, like it's everything, right? Like they're just trying things. Hobbs saying to Shaw, I peed in your tea, you know, all these different things. Like it feels like this is a mostly written like one-liners trying to be funny. But Montez, is that what you like? What did you love about Roma? Was it just the humor? Like what clicked this movie that he didn't? Because famously, as you might remember, I hated Roman in this movie, and eventually I got Stockholmed into loving Roman in this movie. I still think he's better in 2. Like I think that's the better Roman, but I think that in this movie he's serving an important purpose. But like, what about Roman in this movie turned the tide for you? If you didn't like the sort of like the kind of the overtop Hobbsy stuff, like what did you love about Roman?
So I really enjoyed the fact that we've kind of he's just like the franchise has just embraced who he is and kind of just like amped it up. So having watched this movie for the first time, I watched it from the lens of having listened to hours and hours and hours of this podcast.
Yes.
And
Thank you for your service.
But just like some of the banter and some of his one-liners I thought were really funny. I thought it was hilarious when they were sitting and holding, and he's like, I've been sitting here for 4 hours. I can see my ribs. It's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like stupid stuff. I mean, the rock stuff didn't bother me. I didn't not like it. I could tell that it felt a little forced, but I mean, it didn't.
Don't get hung up on me. You're good. Just keep going.
Yeah, no, it didn't bother me at all. So I really thought that him and Jason Statham, when they were in prison together, was pretty funny. Like just their back and forth. I just thought it was funny.
So in this movie, you liked it so much because you liked the comedy aspects of it.
Yeah, I mean, I also like the seriousness of it. I feel like this is the first time that I've ever actually seen Dom do, or maybe it's just because I haven't been paying attention, but actually doing something more mechanic-like.
Oh my God, she admitted.
So like at the beginning when he's working on the car and he's like talking about the car and he's doing all this
Okay.
stuff. I feel like that's the first time I ever actually saw him, be a mechanic.
Well, he's a superhero now. He doesn't have time to mechanic around all the
Yeah, I
time.
mean,
He's
let's be honest.
saving
The
the
man
world.
should have fucking burned to death in the first 5 minutes of this movie. There's no way that he would have survived that car being absolutely on fire. No wounds anywhere on his person. His hands would have been ruined. Just stupid. But again, I'm embracing the fact that he is now subhuman, superhuman. He cannot
Very,
be hurt.
very different definitions. Subhuman and superhuman opposites. Polar opposites.
Right. Yes, after I said subhuman, I realized that was the wrong term. I just decided to embrace that the franchise has gone off the rails.
Do you feel like you're getting to know the characters better, or do you think that, like, are they just doing different things? Like, do you know who these people are better than you ever have before, or is it just like you're just getting glimpses into other things?
I think it's just getting glimpses into other things. Honestly, I think without listening to you guys talk about these movies so much that I wouldn't know as much as I do about their backstories and who they are as like people.
We made all of them up.
Yeah, probably.
I, watching this movie this time, you know what I think is like a really, really cool part of a set piece that like I don't think I really appreciated before is when they stop the explosion by pulling up and like hugging Dom with their cars. I was like, man, you know what? That was a really cool little tidbit there. And like, you know, you see the sub come out, you see the whole like them spinning the cars around, whatever. But like the explosion and them coming together and choreographing the dance for it, everything that they needed to do, I was like, this is kind of awesome. It's kind of the most like family way they could have saved him, and they did it.
So the most Dom moment is almost what they do to Dom.
Yeah, I think if Dom could simultaneously drive like 6 cars, he would have done the same thing for Letty.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
My biggest question about this movie, the thing that really stood out to me this time, is
Okay.
at the end on the rooftop. Don't know whose rooftop that is. We never know. Maybe it's
never know.
maybe it's a nobody thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But Mr. Nobody goes, "Hey, I got you a party favor." And he gives a box to Hobbs, and Hobbs opens it up, and it's his gun and his badge, right? And he
Yeah.
says to his daughter, like, "Daddy's gonna stay home," right? Like he's like, "I'm good." I want to know, did Mr. Nobody wrap that up, or did someone else wrap that up? Like, did he go to did he go to like a craft store? Did he go to like a gift shop, like maybe a Hallmark?
I got the
And, like,
answer.
I need a really nice box. I need a really nice ribbon. I need some really nice tissue paper for a gun and a badge. For
The
a
answer's right in
muscly
front of
dude.
your face, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made Little Nobody do it. That's schlep work.
I don't think Little Nobody would be good at that kind of thing. I think this is a very
I think
nice
he
presentation
would
of the
be good
box.
at
You
it.
think so? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like his like hidden talent. I think he might like be the best person at White Elephant too.
Wow. Now, Montez, this is the first Little Nobody, first Scott Eastwood in the movies. What'd you think of him as kind of a main-ish character now?
I really enjoyed Training Wheels. I love that he hated everything about what everyone was saying. And he's kind of like me when I first came into this franchise.
No one liked you? Is that what you're saying?
No, that he hated everybody, that he had no idea what was going on. He really just
Okay.
wanted to do his job. He just wanted to, go home.
Now, what we've said, you might remember from us saying basically every time we watch this movie, wouldn't that role be better, that character be better, if he was played by Mr. Zac Efron?
I mean, sure, everything's always better if it's played by Zac Efron.
Amen. I agree. I'm right with you. I would love to. I still want it to be Zac Efron. I was thinking that as I was watching it this time too, but I think Zac might be a little too short. Like I think that some of but I think that some of these guys might be way too tall for him.
Scott Eastwood is 5'11".
Okay, see, he's tall.
Zac Efron, 5'8".
That's
Not radically different, but a couple
No.
inches.
couple inches, and The Rock is monstrous, right?
Yeah, 6'5".
Yeah.
Montez, what else about this movie? What else did you... okay, I want to get more into the love, but is there anything about this movie you didn't love?
Charlize's wig is what I have in my
Okay.
hate column.
Okay. Now, do you know what her hair looks like in 9?
No.
Okay, we're going to save that. Actually, that's a question we're going to get. I forgot to do... We have questions in this. Got to get to it now. Montez, we got some
Okay.
either-or questions because the hair is one for 9.
Okay.
Would you rather die in a fiery explosion or by drowning in icy water?
Nah, fire explosion all the way.
Going out like a hero?
Yeah.
I would hug you with my car, Montez.
Oh, that's so sweet. Montez, no context. You might know what this means. You might not if you zoned out. Who knows? No context. Just answer the question. Revenge of the Nerds or The Dark Knight?
Yeah, but what's my last name?
Montez. Collins, actually Collins.
Yeah. Revenge of the Nerds.
Okay.
That might be the first time anybody's answered Revenge of the Nerds.
Well, you answered Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds is great.
So far, out of 39 responses, 17.95% have said Revenge of the Nerds.
Interesting.
Overwhelmingly, 71% say The Dark Knight, and 10% said something else altogether. So, yeah, that's very clearly, definitively. Also, Icy Water is very underpicked. So Montez, the favorite on the Fiery Explosion, the underdog on Revenge of the Nerds. Do you know why we're asking that question?
Yes, at the end of the movie.
Yeah. What about the end of the movie?
They ask, would she prefer Revenge of the Nerds or The Dark Knight? And she responds with, but which one of you knows my last name?
Yes.
Wait, were you when I said when I asked Dark Knight, Montez? Montez knows these movies better than I do. Montez, you want to host this podcast instead of me?
Exactly.
Sure.
You and Joe doing this podcast together where neither of you remember even what movie you're supposed to
Absolute
watch.
chaos.
Just like, did we watch this movie?
It would the title of the movie would be in the name of the episode, and that's probably it. That's probably as much we would get out.
It would be an hour of us trying to remember what happened in the movie, and I had just turned it off.
Yep. I'd probably have it on in the background.
I will not put this person on blast, but there have been a guest of this show who has been a guest on Brian's show who watched the wrong movie for Brian's show, and so I feel like that would happen.
I've never done that. I have never ever done that.
I literally bought a domain to prevent that from happening.
Yes, it's because of Joey's babysitting, but I have never done that.
Which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've come close, but we haven't actually.
I definitely forgot to do the minute once. But I've never never forgot to watch the movie.
Yeah. So.
Or watch the wrong movie.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, pretty good.
Montez, so you wrote down her hair. You don't like Charlize's wig. You don't like Cypher's wig. What do you think of Charlize overall? What do you think of Cypher as a character? She's the big bad in this movie. What do you think of her as a villain?
I thought she was kind of annoying.
Any reason?
No, she just
Other than women hate women?
Yeah.
now hold on. I don't know what it was about her character. I guess it was the fact that, I don't know, maybe it was just the fact that she wanted something and... See, here's what I don't understand. I don't understand why they couldn't do any of this without Dom.
What do you mean?
Like, why did she have to hold Elena hostage? Why couldn't they have finished this job without Dom?
Why couldn't who have finished the job? What's the question you're asking?
Stealing the, what was it, nuclear football?
Right. So they're stealing it because she needs it. So
right.
He gathers the whole crew because he can't do it alone. And so when he has it, he then heel turns and, flips over Hobbs' car.
Yeah,
and
they're
drives
trying
away.
to keep it from her, kind of.
Well, they don't know she exists. Dom's the only one who knows she exists.
But I mean, Hobbs wants it because they're trying to keep it safe in the beginning.
Okay, never mind.
At the very, very beginning.
Yes. Now that you say that, yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
You have just recalled the entire scene for me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We connected there.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys notice that Cypher is wearing a Metallica t-shirt in the beginning of this movie? And that feels kind of on brand and kind of not at the same time.
No, we talked about that before because I love it. I think it's a very nice detail. Like I think she is kind of the Christian Bale in The Big Short, just in her office on the plane, blaring metal as everyone's just fucking goddamn it.
Because I don't know if she's the demo for a Metallica fan.
Can you imagine headbanging with that weave?
I know.
No.
True.
There is a line. Okay, so here's a. I don't know if we should reveal it. Maybe not. But you've heard it before, Montez. But we have this theory that Mr. Nobody's actually a villain.
Yeah.
And we don't really
save
get to
this
it
till next time.
I know, but therere's a line, and it's part of. I'm framing that for context. It's also she's listened enough that she knows our thoughts on those things.
For sure.
There's a line when he's talking to Letty, and she asks about Dom and Cypher. And she goes, do you know why? Like, why is he doing this? And he says to her, gee, Letty, no, I don't. And I'm like, why are you being, like, weird and catty here? Like, clearly he knows. She doesn't have to ask him, but it's just like, why are you being rude? Like, this woman's husband, her betrothed, just turned
On their
them.
honeymoon, yeah.
On their honeymoon in Cuba. He's gone. He's now with this woman who's trying to kill them. And she's like just looking for answers, and he's just like being like a diva. And I'm like, why wouldn't he just tell her? I guess it's like for us.
I think it was
like,
more.
for the
I think it was more
viewer.
mysterious than like catty or petty.
No, he goes, gee, Letty, no, I don't. Like, come on, you dumb bitch.
fair.
It's so rude that I'm like, I don't know why this is like this.
I
And
think
never
I
heard
think
that
that he
before.
was saying like I can't tell you, not you're an idiot, and of course I know. It's like no, I have to say I don't know because I cannot tell you.
The way he
It's like classified type.
the way he
but
says it, it's like he knows that Elena is on the plane or whatever, and that baby Brian is there too. But like, if this was real, I think if Mr. Nobody knew what he knew, he would say, hey, Dom is with her now because like they captured Elena. Do you remember Elena from Brazil? Dom has a love child with her.
what? He would just disclose everything?
I think you have to, because the central mystery of this movie is, why is Dom doing this? He's like, well, I know the answer. Like, he wouldn't not tell them. Maybe he wouldn't tell them about the baby, but he would be like, oh, because they have Elena.
But maybe he thinks that Letty is like gonna go off the rails and be like, well, we're not gonna help, or that they would leave because maybe he thinks that she's got it out for Elena.
The women's be crazy theory. That's what you're going
Yes,
with.
yeah.
Okay. He just thinks like I don't think she can emotionally handle it.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, like, he just abandoned her on their honeymoon to go after another woman.
It was weird. I know that like so much of movies, like these movies and all movies, is like keeping things from the audience so that we're in the dark and that it's narratively compelling for us. But I feel like if this were real, he would share a lot more information that he clearly knows, unless he just doesn't understand sarcasm.
That
Or
could be true too. Yeah.
or is it like The Rock's character is leaning a little too hard into his character? I feel like it's kind of on brand for Mr. Nobody to be a smartass. Maybe that was just the wrong take that they went with.
Fair. Yeah. I think that's probably very likely of what happened. But I liked sussing out whether Mr. Nobody's a petty bitch or not.
It's weird. Next time, in 9 months or whenever we get to this movie again, Joe,
Yeah.
listen for that line. He goes, gee, Letty, no, I don't. It's just like,
I will.
Montez, what else about, so your quadrants, you have love, hate, fuck, most dom. Is there a fifth one?
I have other thoughts.
Other thoughts? Hit
get
us with
to
another
them.
thought.
The only other thing that I wrote down, because you did tell me that I didn't have to worry about taking a whole bunch of notes, I wrote down Helen Mirren when she's talking about God's Eye. She says it's called something like Devil's
Bunghole.
Bunghole.
Devil's
Yes.
bunghole, yeah.
And you really like that?
I thought it was hilarious.
What
I
do
just
you
love
think of
Helen
her?
Mirren.
Because this is the debut of Queenie in the franchise.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friends who clearly do not watch these movies because if they did, they would be on the podcast. And
Yeah.
they haven't because they don't. And they're like, wait, Helen Mirren's in these movies? I'm like, she's the only one who's been in every movie since she has been, like, she was introduced in 8, and she was in 8, Hobbs, 9, and she's in 10. Like, she's the only one who, like, crosses over. Like, she's the only, like, connective tissue. She's just the only one that is always in these movies. And, like, there's something special, I think, to be said about that. The Helen Mirren is, like, the Winston Wolfe of, like, the Tarantino universe. He
yeah.
can cross over. He hasn't, but, like, she can go in Hobbs and Shaw. She can come in these.
She's definitely going to be in, if there's like a Letty one, she's definitely going to be in that.
Actually, I just realized that there's someone else who's been in every movie since he was introduced that I won't spoil. The credit scene in 9, that
Okay.
gentleman has been
Yes.
in every movie since he was introduced too, but
True.
not
true,
like
true.
in the main movie. So I don't know, but yeah, like Helen Mirren's great. We love Helen. We love Helen Mirren. Vin loves an older woman, and we love Helen Mirren as well.
I agree.
What do you think of the whole Shaw dynamic, Montez? The Mama Shaw, 2 Shaw sons working together in tandem on this plane. Are you looking forward to finally fully watching Hobbs and Shaw?
Yes, I am.
It's actually it's a lot of fun. I think you'll like
Yeah.
this one a lot.
Now that I know more of the story and that I've actually paid I'm not even going to say this because I don't want Joey to
Now that you've
lose
paid
it.
attention, now that you've actually, seen a movie that you watched
Yes.
with your eyes and your brain.
Yes. I'm excited to watch it fully, all the way through.
How much of it would you say you've seen, more or less than half of it, if you had to guess?
Less than half.
Really? Okay, cool.
I want to say it was on TV one day at my parents' house, and then I watched it for like a brief minute, and then I went outside or something.
And these
Missed the
movies,
rest.
famously, always on TV.
Yeah.
Always on TV. All of them.
Montez, other thoughts? Any other thoughts in your other thoughts in general? Things you love, things you hated, things you're looking forward to in 9? Do you like the sort of lack of resolution of Cypher just jumping out the plane at the end of this movie?
Yeah, because I mean, it's clearly setting it up for the continuation.
Okay, so you like that. You don't mind that.
No, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Knowing what I know, that there's, multiple other movies. I mean, if I had watched this when it first came out, that probably would have annoyed me. But knowing that I have more movies to continue watching, it
Okay.
doesn't bother me.
I think we've come to that conclusion, right, Joe? That, like, not knowing the resolution of Cypher for years, it's just like, what are they doing with this? And then you see what they're doing in 9, you're like, okay, like, I get a little bit more, right? Like, there's
Yeah, and I think when 10
something to-
comes out, we're gonna be like, okay, and yeah, that we always like pitched it as like this is kind of like the beginning of the last arc, Like Cypher will carry through. I'm explaining for Montez, but I'm sure she knows. But yeah, so like as it unfolds, like looking back on it, we'll be more happy with how it unfolded.
Well, like, the biggest frustration that I have, this is like the thing that Joe said on this podcast that, like, really blew my mind, was he's like, Jocelyn comes in for 3, and then he just figures out what's going on. Then he sets up 4, 5, 6 as his trilogy. And he's like, look, Jocelyn comes back. He knows what he's doing now. 9, 10, 11 going to be the second trilogy. And, like, we're not getting that with 10 because he quit. But it's just, like, there's something to, like, having a story and knowing, like, where you're going with things and, like, setting things up and, like, being able to, like, land it and pay it off and whatever. And I think it's hard to have a different writer come in each time or a different director come in each time and, like, keep consistent in terms of look and feel and also, like, a story that makes sense and also something that's just, like, fun to watch. So, like, I think 10 is going to be good, but if 10 is good, like, it needs to do a lot of things right. Like, it's hard to be a good 10th movie in a franchise.
It really is. It really, really is. But I'm hoping that they do, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Montez, any other thoughts? Any other notes? Any other nicknames that you liked?
Nope.
I like that Dex calls baby Brian Govna when he puts the headphones on.
Yes.
There you go, Govna.
I take that back. I loved that whole dynamic between the two of them. I was actually telling Sean about that earlier. I was saying that I watched this movie today, and my favorite part was when he puts the headphones on him and then turns on Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I loved the whole thing. I need a movie of just that, like just the two of them.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be. Like, so we're doing our next episode is The Pacifier, where Vin Diesel's like, I can do a kids movie.
I
Like,
love that movie so much.
Has Statham done that?
Oh, I don't know. I can't think
I
of
feel like
any.
I need a spinoff of like what was Jason Statham and Baby Brian doing before they got to the roof.
Yeah, like the journey back from the plane.
Yeah.
Like him just like cuckooing him, like oh.
Yeah.
I'm looking now. So Statham has a voice in Romeo and Julia, but he's not the lead. He's in the Pink Panther, the Steve Martin one, but he's not the lead. I don't know if those are really like Pacifier level kids movies.
No.
Fair, yeah.
I don't think he's ever done a kids movie. I guess like he's like he looks like he's like a London street criminal, so like maybe it wouldn't work. But like also like it doesn't look like Hobbs, like The Rock or Vin Diesel should work too. And, like that's the whole point of it, right? So like
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, there was another thought that I had.
What?
Roman at one point he's like looking at they're trying to figure out what this thing is, and Roman goes, "It looks like a bank account," and they go, "That's the longitude." So like, if you've seen Latitude and Longitude, it's very clearly that's not like what a bank account. That's not what literally anything else looks like.
No.
It's very clearly one thing. So Roman just saw numbers and was like bank account.
Bank account. Yeah.
And
Mind
they're
on my money and my money on my mind.
They're like not even close. It's just like, oh, that looks like the McDonald's drive-through menu, a bunch of numbers. It's like, well, okay, like I get that you're hungry, but like that's kind of close. I don't know. It's just like bank accounts. Like no, what? No.
Yeah, I that's a weird, and it's like maybe like I don't know, what does a Swiss bank account number look like? Maybe he's thinking of that.
I think
But
it's just more numbers.
I think it's just numbers. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think there's like, degrees or like
Yes.
minutes.
Yes. Negative.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joe, other thoughts, other notes, anything else that occurred to you now that we know? Oh, we could try to play. I don't know if we really know. Where do you think Momoa, as Dante, as the son of Reyes, is he at all tracking the family in this movie? Is he at
No,
all
I told you my
intertwined?
theories. I told you my theories when we
Not
were
on air
doing-
though. Did you? Did we don't know? I think we
on the
talked.
trailer. In the trailer,
We did
I
on that
said,
episode. Okay.
yeah, I think that he's just in the background plotting. He's just gathering weapons, gathering crew, painting his nails, just getting ready.
Montez, what do you think Jason Momoa as Dante, this character who did not exist before the trailer, before this movie, what do you think he's been doing in the 10 or 15 years between Fast 5 and Fast X?
I don't have any educated guesses here. Maybe he's been trying to take over his dad's business.
Well, his dad is dead.
Maybe he's trying to make sense of it all. Maybe he went on a walkabout, he's trying to find himself.
You can still take over the business even if your dad is dead. It doesn't
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be alive for the business. Like when you die, your business doesn't die.
Does he have a business, or he just has he's just
The
bought
cartel is
people
a
off?
business.
Yeah.
That's how he connected to Tokyo Drift too. Like Uncle
What?
Kamada, like the Yakuza, the cartel, right? Like it's so you think like if Uncle Kamada died, DK would just like step in.
No, because he got excommunicated. He got drifted away.
No,
remember?
I mean like before he loses the race.
I don't think so because he was like a little fuck. There's like hierarchy in that. Like he doesn't seem like he was like the right hand man of Uncle Kamada. He's just like Han says, like, what you're playing gangster in your garage or whatever. Like you're not like an actual gangster. Like Kamada has like goons that like stand outside his door and like other cronies and shit. Like
Like I
He's-
feel like so much of Reyes's power is in paying people off, like having people on his payroll, and I feel like they respect him or they fear him or whatever. They're beholden to him because he pays them. And then if a son just steps in, like I don't know that they would respect Dante. Maybe they
depends
would.
on the relationship. You
Yeah.
watch Sopranos, you know what I mean? Like it's all in how it goes, man.
That's also I was thinking something in 9, like a spoiled sort of rich son too. So like there's daddy issues all throughout these movies.
I think so. Yeah.
Montez, any other thoughts? Good, bad, otherwise?
I got nothing. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's all gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait 6 weeks for 9 to continue the main franchise because the next movie we're watching is Hobbs and Shaw. So we're gonna take a little bit of a detour. That as of now, as of press time, there's no second one. So maybe in the couple days before this comes out, there'll be a second one released. Who knows? Probably not, but maybe. But try to go into it not expecting more than just like kind of a fun distraction. Like instead of like, hey, we're setting up another franchise within a franchise or whatever, just like, hey, this is fun.
That's where I'm at.
Joe, thoughts, notes, comments, questions, concerns?
No, I felt like for some reason I was just like paying super attention to it this time because like I think I'm getting so juiced for 10 now that like I'm hyper focusing. So yeah, I can't wait to rewatch 9 with the context that we have from the trailer, and I can't wait to watch 10 when it comes out too. So that's where my brain's at right now.
Well, then let us play This Ain't No 10-Second Race, aka boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Come and check out our show. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. This is
Oh,
going to be
shit.
the easiest one ever.
I know exactly what you're going to do too. I have a specific one that I like. But while you guys look for tweets, I'm going to review last time. Remember, we had Brian Late Night Slumber Party, High School Slumber Party, there it is, mentioned again, Rodriguez. He did one for himself, 2 for charity. Also, if you'll remember, Montez did the same tweet as me, which still feels insane.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we're not all just picking Elon tweets tonight, because apparently, did you guys hear that he fired the engineer who said people just don't want to see your tweets anymore, that's just how Twitter works. And then
Yes.
so he fired that guy, and then they rewrote the algorithm literally like to just show people his tweets.
Yeah, he was mad that he didn't get enough stees from his Super Bowl post. So
Yeah.
this is beautiful chaos, and I hope that all of this is true, and it's just like ego stoking.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really love it.
Okay. So last time, I found Court Eisman at Court Eisman. We don't talk enough about the fact that in Furious 7, Kurt Russell used what could have possibly been last words to try to convince Dom to switch from Coronas to Belgian beer. And she puts a screenshot of Try the Belgian Ale Man. And we said, we have so many theories about this scene. We have talked about this scene so many times. We are right there with you. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Reaction Rocket responds. We respond to Reaction Rocket. He responds again. Michael Moser responds. Court tagged in every single one of these tweets. Court could not give a shit about
Fuck,
any of us.
No way.
Locked out. Court's mentions, her notifications, blowing up. Bunch of dudes just being like, hey, let's talk about these movies. And she's just like, nope.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Don't care.
Swing and a miss. Joe, you found Lyra Esquire is not Daredevil at Pink Ranger LB. You see this new book revisits, oh, I forgot, the events of the first Twilight novel. This is from 3 years ago. But instead of being from the perspective of Bella, it is told from the perspective of Dom Toretto from the Fast and Furious franchise. And we said, Lyra, you have no idea how much we actually have a podcast for you. If there are two things we love, it's Twilight and Fast and Furious. Wow, do we have a podcast for you? Nope, of course
Nothing.
not.
Yeah, they don't care.
Did you hear that Stephanie Meyer just said that she's going to write 2 more Twilight books?
What?
What?
Yeah.
Good. That means 2 more Twilight movies, and I'm in.
Yeah.
I hope they bring K-Stu back. Oh, no, they're going to probably do like this is a different vampire love story on another. Yeah, fuck that.
Do you know that Taylor Lautner married a girl named Taylor, right? And now they have a podcast called The Squeeze with Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner.
Yes.
Do you know that? Yeah.
Oh, God. Yes, I
She
did
goes
know
by-
that they...
she goes by
know,
Tay, though.
I did know that they were both named Taylor, but I would have hoped that she kept her maiden name to not be Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner, because that's just fucking miserable.
Sterling and Bronze.
Well, you know, he also, while those movies were out, dated Taylor Swift, right? Like, and when Taylor got interrupted on the stage of the VMAs by Kanye, he was like her date to that show. So, like, he just has a thing for women named Taylor.
Maybe he just loves himself that much that he needs to be with someone that's named after him.
Probably true.
Yeah. I mean, is that a Jacob thing? Right, yeah, Edward is Robert Pattinson. Is that a Jacob thing? Is he egotistic?
No.
Maybe.
No, like the character-wise. I don't know. He seems kind of like... He's kind of whiny. He's kind of
He
like...
is definitely whiny.
He's very whiny. That's what I remember. And, like, not very self-confident, but also, like, overly self-confident, just depending on what he's... I don't know. He's weird.
Okay. Fair enough. Brian, our guest last time of the aforementioned, once again, high school summer party. I will say, once again, for some reason, all of the more tweets on Twitter are just serving up foreign language tweets. My account, the Too Fast account, Twitter's so broken. Unbelievable.
Mine's pretty fine. It just wasn't loading earlier today, which, like, I was like, oh, Elon just broke it again. So I was
Mine's
fine.
pretty fine. It just doesn't work.
It just didn't work at all. I wasn't getting Spanish tweets.
No issues with mine other than the fact that I can't get on. Totally fine, guys. All right.
Sorry.
That reminds me of earlier this lap where you're like, yeah, guys, Twitter's fine for me. Twitter's fine for me. Don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I can't actually load it. Okay.
Exactly. Happened twice. I have a built-in level of like tolerance of stuff not working. So for me, that's pretty fine.
It's fine.
I'm a
Everything's
scientist.
fine.
Half the time stuff doesn't work. It's like
Oh.
that's fine.
You know, Twitter. Elon spent $44 billion on an app that he just broke
Yeah.
irrevocably. Oh boy.
I wonder if there's like they gave him like a little router that he can like unplug and plug back in like to pretend.
It doesn't do anything. It just
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just like a little it's just a plastic thing with lights on it. But they're
You know
like,
what?
here, you could
You know
fix
what
it.
honestly would be
What?
the best thing is that instead of doing all these changes, they just built a second Twitter for Elon. that
Oh,
he
and they
thinks
give him a
he's
fake
on.
one.
So yeah, like regular Twitter still exists for everybody else, and it's just like, don't tell Elon.
They put out like from the main account. They're like, "Shh, everyone, we're playing. We have to keep Elon happy, so we're just randomly generating all these likes for all of his posts. He will never notice."
And they're like, oh man, like, but these, and like, but no tweet's going viral. I'm like, yeah, man, keep going.
Yeah, you're doing great, bud. It's like when you give a kid the controller, but you don't plug it in.
Uh-huh.
You know, you're like, "You're playing with me. Look at how good your car's doing." You're like,
And they write fake news stories and like deep fake like CNN, like Elon, another winning tweet. Like Wolf Blitzer's on there, just like look at Elon, he's the best that we've ever had. His Twitter is so good.
so
And
it's
he's
just
like, "Man."
North Korea. That's essentially what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah, but only Elon doesn't know. Everybody else is just like, yeah, okay.
Is in on the joke. Okay. I like that, actually.
It honestly seems easier than all the other things he's doing.
Probably.
Just build a second Twitter with all fake accounts.
I think so. All the bots, they can just move them to Elon's account, and then he'll be fine.
Elon, look at all these automated accounts. They're all paying you $1,000 a month. He's like, oh man, I'm so rich.
Yeah.
Brian found Julia Monet at Julia Calais. No niece. Denise is my favorite Bond girl. We said,
Perfect.
great name for a Bond girl. Boy, to a podcast for you. Nope. Why would she?
Even though it's only from this movie.
Why would the only person who has ever interacted with that tweet, ever liked it, ever retweeted, ever replied to it, why would she ever acknowledge us? Don't know. Charity number 1, Matt at MHack. How did T-Pain only manage to get credited as, quote, DJ in Furious 7? It says T-Pain all over his laptop. Poor dude. We said we hope they at least brought him a drink. Boy, do a podcast for you. Nope, of course not. And then Georgie Lektarski at Lektark at Elon Musk. Here are some Tesla Model 3s if they were part of a Fast and Furious movie generated by hashtag AI, hashtag Midjourney. And we said, Elon, how have you not been in a Fast and Furious movie yet? You'd be perfect as your favorite character, Elon Musk. Boy, to a podcast and a film franchise for you. And we screenshotted IMDb where he plays Elon Musk in 9 or 10 different things.
Yep.
No. Actually, Elon retweeted it. Believe it or not, we are the most popular podcast on planet Earth.
only on our version of Twitter that they have just given to us. Yeah.
They built 2 other Twitters. They built one for Elon. And they built one for us.
Us, yeah. Where everybody just ignores all of our tweets. You know what? Maybe he's right about the fucking algorithm. Now that I think about it, we should have more interaction. I'm with Elon.
The fact that we once again did 6 tweets that are hyper specific and curated to people tweeting about specific weird things that no one else on planet Earth really cares about. And we're like, hey, we care. This is a good idea. And the fact that none of them even liked the tweet honestly seems weird.
Right? That's what I said.
All right, what you guys got?
Okay, I got one. It's a banger, though, okay?
Send it to me.
Here, I gotta send you. It's a 3-parter, and it's a tome. Okay, this is from History is Cool at Known Good Geek. Okay? I am and always will be a fan of Fast and Furious franchise, even without 2 big family members absent. I'm glad it's continuing and bringing in some new blood. I am also happy that they are not trying to replace Brian. That's probably why I keep coming back to the franchise. The character in any other franchise that would have been replaced with a new pretty face, like the Women's Stay and the Ones Again, any other action franchise you think is going to keep the government help disappear and do not show up the next film. Curious why they haven't proposed a 20 years later TV show with all of their children doing similar things, but back in a single city underground street racing antics like OG to start a new set of cast and family elements to continue the story for a new audience. The last part, though, nailed it. We've said this before. We say, we would love for them to restart the franchise with baby Brian and what is Brian and Mia's kid's name?
Jack.
We think that they would be perfect for it, and we've said this before. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. But the real question is, are they going to use the white baby Brian or the brown baby Brian?
Maybe just every movie, different race, different ethnicity.
Oh, and then there's just like an Asian baby Brian. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
The United Colors of Baby Benetton. I'm saying we would love for them to restart the franchise with baby Brian and Jack at the core of it. Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Perfect.
I only retweeted the third one because I felt like it makes no sense on its own, but, I don't want to really blow up this person's responses, but, it's, I think the fact that if they wrote a 3-tweet thread.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
thought that it was recent, and they make a thought that we've had before, and say, I'm the biggest Fast and the Furious fan. I keep coming back to this franchise. Yes, I hope that this is a good one. Please join us. History is cool. Please.
Montez, hit us with your Stefan Urkel.
So this is Stefan Urkel
Mhm.
at Office of Steve. The actors are getting sold in the Fast and Furious franchise. The next movie will be them stuck in the grocery store parking lot.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Because I think canonically, CGI de-aging them is keeping them young. So I think I inherently disagree with this premise, but also, This is your tweet, this is not mine.
Yeah.
I would say as long as Brian still has the minivan, boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Yeah. Perfect.
As long as Brian keeps his minivan, we're in. Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Love it.
I found Josh Frelinger at JFra on Twitter. When they went to space in F9, everyone asked, quote, how can they finally top this? But the fact that much of the action in Fast X takes place around the Vatican gives us a hint. The climactic race will take us through hell, purgatory, and paradise,
Oh,
as described in Dante's Inferno. And then he responds to his own tweet saying, Pope Francis makes a special guest appearance as himself,
Oh,
grimly
sick.
sprinkling holy water on Dom's car for protection just before he drives into the secret hell borehole underneath St. John Lateran.
Oh, I like that. And it's also the Da Vinci Code at the same time.
Yeah. I'm going to say, because you know how I found this? Do you know how I found this tweet?
I would like to know.
I searched Dante F9. I searched Dante Fate of the Furious, and nobody tweeted about that. And I searched Dante F9, and this was the only tweet that came up.
Because Dante's Inferno, because nobody's calling Momoa, like everybody's just saying Momoa, not Dante.
Right. I'm going to
Yeah.
say why something along the lines of like, why name him Dante if you're not going to do this?
Oh, yeah. Dante. How do you feel about the name Dante? Like, not as a character name, but just like in general.
It's better than bronze.
It's Sterling, you're right.
I'm saying this seems like a slam dunk. Why name Jason Momoa's character Dante if you're not going to do this? Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Perfect.
I don't like Dante as a name. I think Dante gives very kind of like I think he's bucking the trend. I think Dante is kind of like I think Clerks, right? Dante is Clerks, right? Like it's kind of like a nerdy, disaffecting kind of just like not a muscly dude. So I think they're kind of like subverting tropes here.
Okay, that works.
I think it's interesting to name a character like this Dante though.
Yeah.
I think we're going to skip the car guessing game today because we did
Sounds
half an hour at the
perfect.
top.
I agree. Yes.
But Montez, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for having me back as I continue fuck up the Montez
ruin this
minute.
podcast. Ruin this podcast one episode at a time.
No, never ever. Never ever.
I do like Mike's JJ and J parenthetical M. I think that's pretty nice.
It worked well. I like that. Good job, Mike.
But yeah, so Montez, you'll be back in 3 weeks to talk about Hobbs and Shaw. And then we got F9, then we got our tune-up. And then like 2 or 3 weeks after the tune-up, Fast 10 comes out. So like we'll get you back on in June to talk about that. You got the invite. You said it'd be one. What'd you say? What was your response to the email?
Would I say it'd be one hell of a ride?
Something like that. I thought there was
Something
something
like that. If I wasn't so far away,
You said to me, that would be ... one hell of a ride. Frowny face.
Oh.
So yeah, you're invited. If you find your way up here, on a Thursday night, you want to spend that time at a movie theater in the middle of nowhere in New York.
Near a
Come
big
do it.
mall, in a big mall. Yeah, it'd be fun.
We got already I think 8 people, so we're rolling pretty deep. I'm expecting to get more people to say yes, but
I'm sure.
we
yeah.
we would love to have you, Montez.
I know, but I'll be in New York the next month
Well,
in June.
no, well, okay, yeah, but that doesn't really help us.
I know. What I'm saying is it's expensive.
Joe, our next episode, we're going to record early next week. So before our main feed episode next week of The Pacifier, you and I will be talking about Jason Rainey's patron pick of Truck Rascals 5,
I'm excited.
Ichiban Boshi, the Brave.
I'm very, very excited.
I will also say, Jason Rainey. So people, our patrons, know the Next Lap's theme. We talked about that in the Best of Times, the bonus episode, the surprise bonus episode we put out on Super Bowl Sunday with Kurt Russell as a quarterback, Robin Williams in there. Brian joined
Yes.
us once again.
Yes.
We talked about the theme for Next Lap, which doesn't start for months. So if you want to get in on the theme, toofast2forever.com. Check that out. I will say, Brian, we talked a lot in that episode about his picks. Brian gave us picks for his in-between lap, which he just gets because he's Brian, and
Yeah.
Next Lap. And then Jason Rainey this morning sent me his pick for Next Lap, too. So Jason Rainey's in there.
Cool.
Second pick coming in next sometime, late June. We got Jason's second pick coming up. But next week, we're doing Truck Rascals 5, Ichiban Boshi the Brave. Ichiban Boshi means first star, apparently, in Japanese. I don't know anything about this movie. We'll find out next week.
Ichiban is number one. Greatest number one.
Kirin Ichiban, yeah. And Ichiban Boshi, I guess, is first star, like the first, whatever. The best star, most star, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we got The Pacifier. Then we got Life in the Fast Lane for Too Fast, Too Furious, minute 83. Then we got Hobbs and Shaw. So we got some fun stuff coming up, normal stuff. But Montez coming back. We also have a special guest next week for The Pacifier, who has not been on the show in a very long time.
Ooh. I need to
So
look up who it is.
Stay tuned for that. I can use Bleep Technology. It's
Oh, fuck yeah. Cool. Yeah. Hasn't been on for a very long time, actually.
hasn't been on in a very long time. They were on a special kind of bonus thing that I was thinking about recently before the world ended. I don't know if they've been on since then. Who knows? But yeah, they'll be back next week.
Cool.
I'm saying they as in just to further mask.
To make it big. I get it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Truck Rascals 5, The Pacifier, Life in the Fast Lane, and Hobbs and Shaw. Very exciting stuff coming up. And for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/toofast2forever, or at toofast2forever on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Email us about the trailer or about anything, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page, please, and thank you at toofast2forever.com, and our store over on TeePublic, and come back next week for The Pacifier, and if you're a patron, early next week for Truck Rascals 5. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too.
And that was the mastermind behind the Montez Minute. Montez, you want to plug anything?
No.
And we'll tell you all about it.
When we see you again.